Hello everybody and welcome to Station 4, Causes of the Revolution. Our keywords are French and Indian War, Sugar Act, Common Sense, Patriots, Loyalists, and the First Continental Congress. Alright, let's get started on your questions. Alright, so way back before the American Revolution began, remember the colonies were owned by Britain. Okay, so Britain had major control. The United States was not its own country yet. So what happened is that the British got into a land battle with France. Now, this is called the French and Indian War. Okay, so in the French and Indian War, it's the British and their Native American allies versus the French and their Native American allies. So it's called the French and Indian War because the British were targeting their enemies from the war after they won. Okay, so the French and Indian War goes on, and it turns out the British win, like I said, and the British gain a lot of land from this. If you look before the war, okay, before the war right here, all of this area, okay, so this is disputed, so that means that they weren't sure who it belonged to, but all of this area was French, okay, all of this area was French, and British only owned this, and they owned this up here. After the war, the British started to expand, okay? So this is everything they won from the French and Indian War, okay? So if we look at this, France lost claims to North America, okay? So France pretty much got kicked out of North America for a while after this. And then also, Britain got the whole of Canada, pretty much, or at least a huge chunk of it. And the French also lost their land east of the Mississippi River. So the French lost their land east of the Mississippi River. Britain got Canada, and France is completely out of North America altogether. Okay, so if you look at these claims right here, if you look at before and you look at after, you can see the major shift from the French and Indian War that the British won. Okay, so let's move on to your next question. The Sugar Act. Okay, the Sugar Act is the first of the major taxes that the British passed. Okay, the Sugar Act is a tax that obviously taxes sugar. Okay, and the British were doing this tax. The reason why they passed the Sugar Act was to pay for this French and Indian War. Okay, because the French and Indian War doesn't just happen in the United States area, or in North America, but it happens in Europe. It happens on almost 4 different continents. Okay, so it's a huge war, and the British have a lot to pay for. So they passed the Sugar Act. Okay, this is the first major tax that the colonists get upset about. Alright, so right here, Common Sense. This is, we all know that Thomas Paine wrote Common Sense, okay? But what was it about? What Thomas Book's booklet about Common Sense is about, it is about challenging British authority. So remember, Common Sense says, if you don't like the government, then get rid of it. And for Thomas Paine, that's just common sense. Okay? So it's all about challenging British authority. That's what Common Sense is mostly about. Now, after Common Sense came out, there started to be a problem between the colonists. We started to see 2 different kinds of people, pro-British and pro-American. Now, these pro-British and these pro-Americans had names, okay? The pro-British were called loyalists because they were loyal to the king, okay? So loyalists. Loyalists were pro-British. People who were pro-American were patriots, okay? These people did not like the king, did not like his taxes, okay? They dumped tea into the harbor, okay? For the Boston Tea Party, patriots were totally against the king. So loyalists were pro-British, patriots were anti-British. Make sure that you got that part. Okay, so now as they're going on and on, we start to see a great debate between these two about how they feel about Britain and stuff. So they call the First Continental Congress. Now, the First Continental Congress, the goal of this is to state concerns of the people to the king. So the First Continental Congress, the point of it was to basically tell the king their concerns or things that they find bizarre. Okay? So the First Continental Congress is to state the concerns of the colonists to the king. Alright? So this gives you a good idea about that. Now remember, there are two Continental Congresses, so make sure you don't confuse them. The first one is to state concerns to the king. And this right here, this is a creepy image of Benjamin Franklin. It's like it's not all the way done or something. Okay, make sure you go down to the bottom in the description and make sure that you watch the bonus video, alright? Thank you very much, and goodbye.